Hello and welcome to an India Today special broadcast on the Golden Jubilee of the 1971 War for Liberation of Bangladesh and defeat of Pakistan. This was the war where Pakistan was split into two and Bangladesh was born. 93,000 Pakistani officers and soldiers led by Lieutenant General A.A.K. Niazi surrendered at Dhaka. On this special broadcast, we will tell you about the bravest of the brave, the Paramveers of the 1971 war, and we begin with the unparalleled valor of 2nd Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal of Pune Horse, a second-generation army officer who destroyed multiple Pakistan army tanks and blunted the advance of the Pakistan armor and changed the course of battle at Basantar in the Shakargarh sector. He was posthumously awarded the nation's highest gallantry award, the Paramveer Chakra. I'm standing in front of history. This is Famagusta, that famous Centurion tank that destroyed not one, not two, but 8 Pakistani pattern tanks in the Battle of Basantar in 1971. And this tank was then commanded by the very handsome, brave, 6 feet 2 inches tall 2nd Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal, who was all of 21 at the time of the Battle of Basantar. One of the greatest warriors of Indian Army post-independence, Pune Horse was the military cradle for 2nd Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal. He came from a family of soldiers. His father, Brigadier M.L. Khetrapal, was from the Corps of Engineers. Arun Khetrapal passed out of the Indian Military Academy, Dehradun, in June 1971. The war clouds were already looming. After joining their regiments, young officers are packed off for the Young Officers of Vayos course. In 1971, the Vayos course was cancelled and all officers were sent back to their regiments. Second Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal knew he had to be a part of the 1971 war. The regiment was going to fight, he couldn't be left behind. But he hadn't done his Vayos course, the Young Officers course. So he walked up to then Lieutenant Colonel, later Lieutenant General Hanuj Singh, the Commandant of Pune Horse. General Hanuj describes he had tears in his eyes. He wanted to be there. In December 1971, Pune Horse was deployed in the Western Theatre in the Shakargarh sector. While the main operations were in the east for the liberation of Bangladesh, in the west, the Pakistani armor made several attempts to pierce through Indian defences and gain control of territory. Pakistan army launched a fierce counter-attack at Jarpal in the Shakargarh sector. The Bravo Squadron commander sought reinforcement in the face of an armoured thrust by Pakistan Army's 8th Armoured Brigade. Young 2nd Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal heard on wireless the call for reinforcements and rushed to help. He came under intense fire from the enemy defences. He charged at the enemy defences, running it over and taking control of enemy infantry weapons and RCL guns. Even for the Pakistani armour, this was a do-or-die battle. They were after all called the spearheads. They tried to slice through the Indian armour, but they failed. Very, very determined Pune Horse soldiers stood like the Rock of Gibraltar. But the Pakistanis, they regrouped, rearmed and relaunched the attack. There were only 3 tanks facing the combined Pakistani spearhead thrust. but there was a twist in the tale. Out of the three, only one tank, that of 2nd Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal, was actually operational. With calm military precision, 2nd Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal identified the lead tank of the Pakistani armoured assault and with pinpoint accuracy destroyed it. He then systematically destroyed 2 more enemy tanks. The Pakistani assault was blunted, but the Pakistani armoured columns attacked him again. He kept targeting the enemy tanks. By now, he had destroyed 8 Pakistani tanks single-handedly. So the Pakistani tank commander aimed for 2nd Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal's tank. 2nd Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal's tank was hit in the Pakistani assault and it went up in flames. After the conflict, the Pakistanis admitted that their thrust into Indian territory did not succeed because of one man, because of one 21-year-old 2nd Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal. On the 14th of December 1971, 2 days before Lieutenant General A.A.K. Niazi surrendered at Dhaka, Pakistan Air Force launched a rather desperate air attack on Srinagar. So 6 Pakistan Air Force Sabre jets bombed the Srinagar Air Base. Flying officer Nirmaljit Singh Sekho immediately took off as number 2 in a 2-NAT formation. The 26-year-old pilot brought down one Pakistan Air Force Sabre jet, and despite being hit, he targeted another. He had taken off in a hail of bullets, and his unparalleled valor earned the Indian Air Force their first and only Paramveer Chakra.
14 December 1971 was a very cold and difficult day for Air Force Station Srinagar. The station gets a warning of just about 2 minutes that 6 Pakistani aircraft are likely to raid this place.
They took cover of these mountains, came from behind Pir Panjal, and thereafter entering the valley, they ducked down low to evade the radar cover. The Sabres would be flying at around 700 to 800 kilometers an hour. So they take barely about 2.5 minutes to come over Srinagar. So as these pilots rushed to their aircraft and came onto the runway, so the aircraft which were about to strike Srinagar were near simultaneously over there. Flight Lieutenant Guman, who was the leader, he managed to get airborne, and while Nirmaljit Singh Sekho was lining up, the other aircraft were already rolling into the drive, and as he was rolling for takeoff, the first bombs were actually literally falling on the runway.
So when he took off, these aircraft already in front of him, and just after taking off, he engaged them.
He was in mortal danger. The enemy was already on top of the airfield, and they were dropping their bombs, they were strafing, and all this while Nirmaljit Singh Sekho was ready and raring to go. So he was there that if I am here, you better not come. And if you are coming here, I will not let you go back.
Apart from concentrating on his takeoff, he also had to concentrate where the aircraft are.
So he took a direct shot on the first aircraft and he damaged the second aircraft.
There were 2 aircraft who finished their raid and they had pulled out from the dive. There were 4 more behind him.
Seeing 2 of their wingmen getting shot by a single fighter aircraft, they did not dare to come and engage in combat and flew away homebound.
The flying officer Nirmaljit Singh Sekho showed extreme bravery, total disregard for his own safety, and His single aim was to ensure safety of the Srinagar airfield.
The 1971 India-Pakistan war not only saw the Indian Army blitzkrieg in the east, the dash to Dhaka, the birth of Bangladesh and the surrender by 93,000 Pakistani soldiers, it also saw one of the finest air battles in Jammu and Kashmir. The battle to save the Srinagar airfield and the unparalleled valor of Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Sekho. We are on the tarmac of the Srinagar airfield. On the 14th of December in 1971, the 6th Pakistan Air Force Sabre jets rolled in from this direction and started strafing the airfield. Now, amidst the firing and the bombing, Flight Lieutenant Ghuman and Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Sekho, they took off to take on the Pakistani Sabre jets. Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Sekho had only 4 years in service when he made the supreme sacrifice of his life over the skies of Srinagar to protect the Srinagar airfield and airbase and set an example for generations of air warriors to follow. Born in Ludhiana in 1945, he'd been married just for a couple of months, but he chose his motherland over his family. His valor, his grit, his determination and bravery continues to inspire not just air warriors, but an entire country. Very grateful to Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Sekho. On the 15th of December, one day before Pakistan surrendered in the east, Pakistan Army launched a major offensive in the west. Then Major Hoshiar Singh of the 3rd Battalion of the Grenadiers was tasked to establish a bridgehead across the Basanta River in the Shakargarh sector. He was the Charlie Company commander and was tasked to capture Jarpal, a heavily fortified Pakistani position. Despite coming under intense enemy artillery and armor assault, he went from trench to trench, encouraging his men to fight and win against all odds. We bring you his tale of unparalleled valor. In the east, 93,000 Pakistani soldiers had surrendered on December 16, 1971, and Bangladesh was born. But in the west, Pakistan Army continued to fight. The Grenadiers were tasked to establish a bridgehead across the Basanta River in the Shakargarh sector.
3 Grenadiers, as part of the offensive formation, was launched into attack in Shakargarh Bulge. As part of the offensive formation, 3 Grenadiers had moved inside the territory after crossing 2 major minefields.
Major Hoshiar Singh was ordered to capture the Jarpal village, a task that he accomplished against all odds. But the bigger challenge still lay ahead. Holding on to Jarpal was extremely important, but there was only Major Hoshiar Singh and his Charlie Company. The enemy, that is the Pakistan Army, they wanted to cut off Jammu and Kashmir from the rest of the country. So that is where the enemy thrust would have come in. These soldiers were tasked to hold on to Jarpal to the last man and last bullet. And that's exactly what Major Hoshiar Singh did, going from trench to trench, bunker to bunker, telling his men to fight on and beat back a very, very desperate and committed enemy that wanted to oust them but the enemy failed. Major Hoshiar Singh and his Charlie company came under intense Pakistani fire. Undeterred, he led the charge and dislodged the enemy after a fierce hand-to-hand combat. He was a team player. He in fact was a national level volleyball player. So even in a very adverse condition, when the enemies were launching one counter-attack after the other, he continued to boost the morale of his soldiers. They continued to fight on, and that's the reason, despite mounting 7 counter-attacks, one that was led by the commanding officer of the enemy army, Pakistan Army did not succeed. Inspired by his valor, his troops fired for effect, drawing the enemy in the kill zone and then opened fire, inflicting heavy casualties on Pakistan Army soldiers. On the 17th of December, the Pakistan Army attacked again. This time, the Pakistani battalion was supported by heavy artillery. Though seriously wounded himself, Major Hoshiar Singh continued to move from trench to trench, directing his men to stay strong and continue firing. Major Hoshiar Singh rushed to that machine gun position and took control of the weapon. He started manning the machine gun himself, inflicting heavy casualty on the advancing enemy. As the enemy retreated, the Pakistan Army left behind 85 personnel dead. Including the body of Lieutenant Colonel Muhammad Akram Raja, commanding officer of the 35 Frontier Force Rifles of the Pakistan Army. Though bleeding profusely and severely injured himself, Major Hoshiar Singh refused to be evacuated till the time the enemy had retreated and a ceasefire announced.
Enemy had launched 7 counter-offensive on that night, led by the battalion commander himself. And in that battle, he, along with a large number of enemy troops, got killed.
3 grenadiers had also lost 1 officer and 32 brave soldiers. The battalion suffered 3 officers, 4 junior commissioned officers, 86 soldiers wounded in combat. Lance Naik Albert Ikka of the 14 Guards was born to join the army. That was his dream. In 1971, he had about 9 years in service when they were launched in then East Pakistan on the 3rd of December. He played a pivotal role in the Battle of Ganga Sagar, and this battle was extremely crucial. It paved the way for the advance of the Indian Armed Forces to dash to Dhaka. His task was to capture a heavily fortified Pakistani position at Ganga Sagar, about 6 kilometers west of Agartala. We bring you his tale of unparalleled valor that continues to inspire generations of our braves. Pakistan Army's atrocities in then East Pakistan had crossed all limits. In the December 1970 elections, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman-led Awami League had won a landslide battle. But neither Zulfikar Ali Bhutto nor Pakistan's then President Yahya Khan wanted to hand over power to a Bengali from then East Pakistan. When the Bengalis of East Pakistan protested, General Tikka Khan, who later became notorious as the Butcher of Bangladesh, was unleashed. The Pakistan Army used artillery guns, heavy machine guns and even tanks against the people of then East Pakistan. The people of East Pakistan looked towards India for help, and then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi ordered the then Army Chief, General Sam Manekshaw, to liberate the country. The offensive in the east was launched after Pakistan Army launched preemptive strikes in the west. Lance Naik Albert Ikka was part of the left forward company of the 14th Battalion of the Brigade of the Guards. Their task was to destroy enemy defences at Ganga Sagar. Lance Naik Albert Ikka from Bihar was an excellent marksman. He also had the patience of a hunter. The task given to them was to capture Ganga Sagar. Now this was a very heavily defended and well fortified Pakistani camp. Unfortunately for the Indian forces, intelligence inputs about Pakistani men, material, defences at Ganga Sagar were rather restricted. His task was thus to first find out how well defended was Ganga Sagar and then be a part of the operation to capture it. The capture was also essential because this was the route that controlled 3 different axes into Bangladesh. The Indian Army troops established a firm base just south of Ganga Sagar. This was a strongly defended garrison of the Pakistan Army. The enemy had sighted their guns well to dominate approaches from all sides. The enemy defences were also strengthened by marshy land on one side and effective deployment of both anti-tank and anti-personnel mines on the other approaches.
During the Battle of 1971, that is the liberation of Bangladesh, 14 guards was tasked to capture Pakistan position at Ganga Sagar. The battalion decided to launch an attack with 2 companies up. Albert Ikka was part of left leading company.
What compounded the problem for the advancing Indian Army columns was also the absence of effective and actionable intelligence on enemy deployment, strengths and defences. Though the local population was very supportive, their knowledge about Pakistan Army's deployment was rather limited.
In the 1971 war, in the region of Hilli, it was very difficult to capture the post or the battalion deployed in Ganga Sagar.
The initial intelligence inputs had suggested that Ganga Sagar was defended by a company plus of the Pakistan Army. But on ground, the enemy deployment was more than 5 times the assessed numbers. Lance Naik Albert Ikka had the patience of a hunter. He spent considerable time studying the enemy's defences and converted the enemy's weaknesses to his advantage. How can man die better facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods? That is all I have for you on this India Today special broadcast. Many thanks for watching.